was a good clap. Welcome to the episode 2 of Have We Made It Yet podcast. My name is Josh Yang.
And I'm Lucas Singh.
And as usual, we are going into this podcast asking the question, Lucas, have you made it yet?
No, not yet. Not at all. Actually, not even close. Mm-hmm. How about you, Josh? Have you made it yet?
No bueno. Have not made it yet. But yeah, no, things are happening though this week. Actually, later tonight, I'm going to go to do a dress rehearsal for the Fresh Rice comedy showcase that I'm doing.
Yep.
And I actually have to prepare quite a bit for that. If you can't tell,
can I actually just say it first though? You look really, really nice.
Oh no! See, that was I totally
look at that, man.
Okay, so the reason he's asking me that is because
it's a nice throw. Okay.
Yeah. I have makeup on right now. I applied it myself, and this is the first time I'm having to do this because the last dress rehearsal we did it just to get all the comedians to run through their set and get a little bit more situated with the dynamics on the day of. And the producer specifically said after I did my set, it's like, yeah, just a reminder to all the guys out there. Just make sure you go to like maybe a Sephora or something and try to figure out how to get your makeup done for TV because it's going to be recorded and there's going to be like shoulder up is going to be one of the camera angles. So they're going to be right there in your face. And so he said like, yeah, make sure you just, have some, I don't know, blush or powder or whatever to put on your face because you don't want this to be too shiny. And he said it right after mine, so I got the hint.
Did you feel like he was talking to you directly then?
No, but I mean, it sparked his memory, so clearly something was reflecting off my forehead. So basically on the weekend I went to the Sephora at Eaton.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be doing this television recording kind of thing next Friday, and I was told I need to get some basic makeup, and it's like I don't know what I'm doing here.
Right.
I need somebody to help me. So thankfully they got me sitting at one of those makeup desks.
Yeah.
And a girl helped me figure out the tone, the correct skin tone, and how to apply. Primer, primer, and then whatever the blush.
Do you have foundation on right now?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just whatever the primer is, and then just applying the powder. I think it's powder or it's blush or it's I just don't know. But it's something.
Yeah. I love how in some ways, like if you're like a graphic designer or something like that, you'd have a really full palette of colors.
Yeah.
Like for basic people, it's like black, yellow, purple, gray, blue.
Right.
For colors, red, another one. But like for designers, it's like magenta, teal, salmon. They have a really like bigger palette of color knowledge and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas us for guys, we're just like, we got powder on, but I'm sure there's like foundation and then there's primer.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know. It's like, okay, I'm assuming foundation is the first thing you put on.
It's in the name, yeah.
And then the primer is right before you put on the makeup, and then the whatever, and then the other stuff, and then So I sat there, right, in plain view, in the middle of the Sephora, and it's like kind of the middle of the day on a Sunday.
Nice.
So it's busy. So there are people walking around, and I'm pretty sure I like in the mirror I could see like I remember seeing this one guy just like standing in the back, probably like on his phone like usual, like most guys are in there. It's like, oh, my girlfriend's getting something. Just I'm just gonna be on my phone, and I could see it just periodically like glance over. It's like, what's that guy? Why is that guy getting makeup applied?
Unbeknownst to him, he might be seeing you on stage, man.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
If our marketing has gotten that reach, that'd be pretty cool. But so sitting there and then having the makeup applied and have the lady do the brush and everything, I was like, I thought I would be more self-conscious about the fact that I'm a guy in the middle of a makeup store getting makeup put on me. I mean, other people is like, they could have their ideas. It's like, oh, that looks a little weird. It's like, it's like, what's that guy doing? But in my mind, I guess it's like I'm more focused on. It's like, okay, I need to look
Yeah.
better.
It's a necessity.
Okay, maybe not better, just less like shiny for the TV thing. So I guess I was a bit more focused there. But even then, I don't think I was too, I guess, insecure. I didn't feel like, out of place. Just roll with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would have had that same mentality a couple of years ago. So
true. I mean, like either way though, it feels good to be served. That's how I just like to take it. It's like I don't care what service it is. You feel special when you get one-on-one service, and I'm sure like
you're right.
Whoever served you did a good job of it, and you came out looking pretty damn fine. And at the same time, you got the attention, which is kind of cool. Because most of the time, hell, like even when you're like getting a bank or at a teller or something like that at a bank, like they're just like, get on with it. But right. I'm sure she was asking like, what primer number do you need? All that stuff.
Which would have been, I mean, my answers to that was like, I don't know. What is that?
Yeah.
I'm lost. Please help me. Like it's just like a kid lost in the middle of a Walmart without their parents. Don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end, I ended up having to buy some stuff.
Good.
Because I have to figure out how to do it myself. Because there's no makeup on the day of the actual show. So we'll see whether or not my face looks the same tint as the rest of my body come day of. But
you want to test it out, man? You want to take off your shirt right now?
No. That's not.
Oh yeah, your parents are watching this thing.
No, okay. I mean, they may not even. Okay, I think the main thing is I don't know. Like, do I have to apply it all the way down my body? That's a lot. That's a lot of blush or whatever it is.
We might cut this out, but like, man, when Trudeau did his like blackface, the funniest thing was that he did his knees.
He did his knees?
Because he had holes in his jeans. So he committed to character full out and did his knees, which means maybe he did his full leg too.
Well, first of all, that's a lot of product.
I know.
That's a ton of like, I mean, it's product, it's commitment, it's...
Yeah.
Also, I guess it makes you think is like, if it must have taken a lot of time, and then I guess the question ended up being, is this going to be a problem? And I'm wondering if he asked himself that multiple times throughout. Is like
like political problem,
or
sensitive problem.
Well, I mean, he was a teacher back then. It was I don't think he had any ideas of doing like politics then, or maybe he did, but like probably was far away. But there must have been multiple moments where he's applying like, should I stop or do I need more? Should I go further?
Yeah.
And he went further, and it was pretty dark. I think the one I saw where he was at the Arabian Nights, it was hard to see the background.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was a flash and it was like black. It was a black and white photo, but still, it was also like it's like the background where it was dark and shadowy, like almost blended in. And so you put a lot of that on.
He committed, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, best of luck, man, at the rehearsal today.
Yeah, so hopefully, I've had to winnow my set down a bit more, and I think it should be fine.
Nice,
should be good. But yeah. So how was like you haven't had to do your own makeup, have you?
No. Usually, when I am on set, they just escort me to a trailer.
Yeah,
and they just do it all. The most I've ever had is, again, my palette of words for makeup is really limited, so I think I've had blush on, and like maybe a concealer for a zit. That's about it. Right. Yeah.
The lady asked me if I wanted concealer, and I was like, it's too far. I only have the mental fortitude to be able to understand primer and blush or powder. I'm already forgetting it, but like. Even concealer is like, oh no, the dynamics of it is like, oh no, am I supposed to put it? You know what? It's probably very simple.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I almost just feel like it's a foreign act where it's just very foreign doing that and understanding whether it looks good or not. It's I don't even know I can't even judge if it's done well or if it's not done well.
It's true. It reminds me of like the first time I ever put on hair gel in my hair.
Yeah.
I just remember like I think Sum 41 was really big at that time. So like I really wanted to be Derek Whibley, the guy. So like essentially what I just did was like, although I didn't say it in the words, I just basically did just fuck this up. And so I just put it up all in my hair. Like my hair was just a big porcupine the whole time, but I wanted it like the strongest porcupine look. Yeah. So I got like Dippity Doo gel, which is like the strongest gel you could have. So my hair was just literally needles, man. But I thought I was the coolest, you know? because
Yeah.
I got to be the fat lip guy.
Fat Lip Guy?
Yeah. You know that song by Sum 41?
You know what? I don't. I'm pretty bad when it comes to like music history and certain songs and stuff in different eras and generations.
Man, we come from different ends, man.
Well, I mean, you're only like 4 years older than me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're 27.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were 28.
No. It's very soon. Very soon. Yeah. But yeah, no. So that's a new experience for me, and like if anything, moving forward, I guess it's something that is good to know.
Yeah.
A little bit. But it definitely is better if somebody else just does it for me.
Dude, one day, when you had your Netflix special,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you'll hire a hair and makeup person, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Then I'll be able to afford a hair and makeup person. Anyways, yep. Okay. So basically,
What an intro.
yeah, what an intro. That was a tangent. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into the meat of the episode.
The prime rib, as it may.
Yeah. So what I was, just chef, cook, where it's basically what we want to discuss a little bit today is how we made the decision to really go into our respective fields.
Right.
Acting for you, comedy for me. And this is something I'm actually excited about because I actually don't know. I don't know yours. I think I mentioned mine a bit more before with you outside, but I don't think I've really heard your story about how you decided to get into acting, because you made a bigger move than I did.
Yeah, I mean, it really came down to, well, okay, if we have the long form answer, since we have the venue for
Let's go. This is a long form podcast. Let's go into the timeline, because I know you got it. You were working in the film industry for quite a bit especially when I first met you a couple of years ago, and then last year you decided to like quit your job in the VFX side of things, and then decide to enroll in film school, and then decide acting. So run through a bit of the timeline on how you transitioned to that idea.
Yeah. I mean, since the dawn of time, man has always. Okay, so we'll start in 2012. 2012.
Wow. Okay, that's actually pretty far too. I wasn't. Okay. I'm invested. All right. 2012.
2012. So 2012, I moved to Hong Kong to work for a bit. And among other reasons, I found some really cool places to work, one of them being Fox International Channels. I had a great time working on that network in Asia.
Yeah.
I was the marketing representative or marketing assistant there and everything. Same with a public relations assistant at the same time. And so we'd market shows like American Idol, Simpsons, Family Guy to people who could afford cable in Hong Kong, which is really not a prevalent thing, but it's usually just marketing to expats who live there. Had a great time, but realized I really couldn't make a living in Hong Kong.
Right.
Too expensive, and the people who actually do make it big don't start out as assistant level. You know, Hong Kong's a weird city, and to be honest, I still love it, but I don't think I can survive it at that moment in 2012. I came back to Vancouver, kind of bored and everything like that. Couldn't really find a job in media, so I worked at my parents' place for a bit, which is an insurance agency. Liked it, had enough money, but realized that's really not my passion and everything like that. And I think we're at that time where we can still talk about passions and strive towards it, because just last generation, like our parents, they didn't have an avenue to really go for what they love, whereas I think it's a problem for the rich, to go towards your passion sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Or because the opportunity cost of what you'd be having to go through would be greater if you're, say, poor, or you're like first generation immigrant, or if you don't have the resources. Like, if you have more resources, if you're richer, you can afford to make more mistakes. Whereas, not necessarily. So at the time, how old were you?
Man, this was however old I was in 2013. I think I was like 25. 25. So in 2012, I basically worked for a good year and a half. And for 2013, I worked for like a year and a half. at that time, I also met my girlfriend then.
Oh, okay.
Made it official and everything like that. Had a great year of saving up money, living at home, having a girlfriend, and really trying to establish what I still want to do, which is work in TV and film.
Right.
Vancouver is great, but at the same time, I think we can kind of attest to it. It can get pretty comfortable pretty quickly.
Yeah. Like you can definitely feel like if you don't make a move or like you don't change things up, you can get into a routine.
Yeah.
I don't know, just the fact of growing up as well in Vancouver, I got that sense, and that really pushed me out of the city.
Exactly, man.
But yeah, so you were also at the time you were also thinking it's like, oh, I need a shift and change.
Yeah. I just remember one day I was driving back home from TXL, or from my parents' agency, and I was driving on Grandview Highway right before it turns into like Lougheed.
Right.
So there's Boundary, Grandview, and Lougheed.
Yeah.
I was driving along there, and I realized, like, man, I am right now at the peak, the point in my life where if I don't make these jumps anymore, I'm never gonna make this.
Yes.
And I remember passing that restaurant in my then parents' car also too, and just realizing, nope, I got to make a change. This is something that's gnawing at me for a while, and if I don't do this now, I'll never do this again.
Right.
And so I think in that same week, I bought a plane ticket to go to Toronto here.
Wow.
But I wasn't going to stay there for long. It was only for like a bunch of informational interviews.
Oh, okay.
So I remember in 2013 of May, I went to Toronto, and within a span of 2 days, I booked 10 informational interviews, just kept on meeting people. That's right great. Outside. Yeah. No, thanks. Right outside the Starbucks at 299 Queen Street, which, if you know that building, that's the Much Music building.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. It's where I live.
Oh,
near. Yeah. It's near where I live.
Yeah.
I won't give out the actual address, but yeah.
So I kept on meeting people at that Starbucks. Everyone from the Business News Network, everyone from Much Music, everyone from CP24. Just kept on meeting people there, and I felt like, man, Toronto has such a good vibe, and it's great, and it encourages this type of behavior to actually meet and branch out and network with people.
Yeah.
And so that was April. I came back briefly to Vancouver, and then I told my folks, I'm going to make this happen. So I bought another one-way ticket in May of that year.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend and I just basically said together, we're going to do this together. She's always wanted to move away from Vancouver too.
Yeah.
And we said max 2 years. In Toronto.
Setting a timeline.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Exactly. So this is 2013. So come August 2013, I moved to Toronto first, and then she came in October. But within that month and a half that I was here by myself, it was rough, man. Like, in terms of just trying to find a job, but also like I was living atop a Chinese barbecue place in Chinatown. So it was like a hot summer, I remember.
Oh, geez.
And thank goodness, like one of my friends, he let me stay there and everything. Great guy, let me have his bed and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I just remember every morning waking up and basically marinating in ta siu zhang. If you guys aren't Cantonese, that basically means like barbecued pork.
Oh. I think isn't that just a dream though? Isn't that just heaven?
Yeah.
Isn't that
and
just
hot humidity getting
everything?
Marinated?
Yeah, eventually you'll feel like the pork.
Yeah. And then eventually I got my first job at an animation studio as a marketing coordinator there.
Okay.
But a year working in there, and this city is great, but at the same time, man, it's a big wake up call because I got fired from that job a year after that.
Oh wow.
And then was just had to find another job.
Yeah.
And then I went to another ARC Productions, which is another animation studio.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys know this, but like it used to be the biggest animation studio in all of Canada, employing close to about 500 animators,
ARC,
production people and everything.
Okay.
But eventually, I don't know how they did it surprisingly, just after the August long weekend, I think this is 2015 or something like that.
Yeah.
Kaput. They
really?
Just said, just a notice on the door just saying, sorry, we can't pay our debts. Good luck.
No warning whatsoever.
No.
And then they were like, just gone.
Just gone.
Wow.
And then that's when I just realized the volatility of this whole industry.
Oh.
So then, then of course I had to find another job, and then I went to Stereo D, which is like my most recent office job and everything. Worked there as a senior production coordinator. Had a good time working on films such as, like Blade Runner 2049 and the new Star Wars trilogy and all that stuff. I had a great time working there, but at the same time, like, it's a rough place to work in, especially VFX. It's a dark place. And
like it was lit poorly.
Yes, it was lit poorly. Thank you.
Not like Heart of Darkness. Kurt's level of dark.
Yeah.
But just like actually just dark.
Yeah. So you're working there for crunch hours, like 12, 13 hours a day kind of stuff. And everything.
Yeah.
It's a rough grind. And I told myself not more than a year. But eventually I did work there close to just under 2 years. And I'll be honest, that was my breaking point.
Really?
And I couldn't do it anymore. And I'm not sure if this is any kind of like any kind of credence to my decision to quit that job. But man, I remember it was kind of spooky too, man. Yeah. It was like one night, and I'm not sure if you've been in Liberty Village.
Yeah, I went there for a few interviews before when I first moved here. Yeah.
So all that whole place is just filled with like reconverted factory lofts, right?
Yeah,
and all that stuff. So the building that I used to work at is an old bread factory.
Okay.
So you still see all like the steel piping. It looks really cool and everything.
Yeah.
Furnished up, modern, but still has the aesthetics of the old factory.
Yeah.
So I swear I was by myself in that studio working late one night.
And then you heard the screams of 1,000 bread souls or something like that. The souls of the bread, the yeast screaming out into the night.
Yeah. But I remember, like, have you seen the movie Hereditary?
You know what? I remember you saying it was a really good film, but I don't think I've watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
So, okay. If you have seen it, if anyone has seen it, the demon Payman is represented by like a light ray.
Okay.
Because there's actually no manifested demon, but just in a light ray.
Okay.
So I remember it was dark out. It was dark in the studio. I was working on my computer and everything. All of a sudden, from my right eye, I see this flash of light. Just come out of nowhere. This flash of light. I turn to my right, and again, mind you, this is empty. No one else is in the studio. I turn to my right to see that flash of light. It's gone now. But from my left side, I just hear...
Oh, fuck off.
No way. No joke, though. I heard like what was steadily fastening footsteps, like running towards me.
Yeah.
So I immediately turned to my left, expecting to see someone run up towards me.
Yeah.
No one was there. And of course, I'm not sure how much this played into my wanting to quit this job, but I just felt, again, when you have that inner feeling like this is not for you. And props to the people who can do it again.
So you're telling me the place is just haunted?
I don't know.
That's why you left your job?
No. Well, no.
Oh my God. Okay. Or maybe it's like a manifestation of your own senses just giving you like a warning.
Yeah.
Like, man, you're gonna die in here, and you're just gonna be a wandering soul in these empty halls of bread.
Yeah.
Bread past.
Could have been. But I just remember, like, again, this is not the place for me. And again, props to the people who can do it because they make amazing work, as you can see on all the movies they've worked on. Shortly after December 2018, I put in my 2 weeks. I eventually said bye to that team.
Yeah.
And embarked to go to Ryerson to go to film school in 2019. Midway through that semester going into film school, then I also said, screw it, man. I've always wanted to do acting too.
Yeah.
So I tried it out, had my first acting class in April.
Right.
Had it then, still liked it, which was my litmus test.
Yeah.
And then signed up with an agency And luckily, like I know I'm brushing through these details really quickly, but I know finding an agent is actually really difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was really lucky in that sense that an agency took me on pretty quickly, and they've been supportive ever since. And it's been cool going to auditions a lot,
Right.
and understanding like what kind of look I am and how I can be better as an actor.
What kind of look you are? Can you go more into that? Like, what do you mean? So is it like it like how the agency when you went in for those first initial meetings, like how they described your look? Is it really that kind of like open on discussions? Like, hey, you know what? This is the type of look you have.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the type of stuff we see you doing, or we're going to focus in these areas.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Is that how it works?
Kind of. Like I swear, one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself, if you want the most objective mirror in society for you, is go to a casting call.
Oh God!
Because then you see, like, around you in the waiting room when they're all going into the auditions, you see how other people see you.
Right.
And then because we all typically kind of look the same, you know, like late 20s to early 30s young Asian male.
Yeah.
You know, and then you kind of look around, you're like, oh, shit, yeah, I have seen all these people at different auditions, playing a dad, playing a high school student even sometimes, too.
Right, right.
But, you know, like, agencies don't want to ever cannibalize themselves with their roster, right? So if you're their Asian,
you're their... So, what? Hold on. What?
I know that has, like, almost racist undertones, but, like, make sure that, like, your look is different from the other people on their roster.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're going to be competing for the same parts all the damn time.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So that means that you're like you're the only Asian they have on their roster, or how does that work?
No, like, because I have been on their roster and they have like another Asian, I think. Like they do have like a Korean guy, and I've also met with another person that was in my former acting class. He's like an Asian father type.
Okay,
so he's like, I think just under 60 years old and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's fit as hell though, man. He's like,
wow.
Who plays Ip Man again?
Donnie Yen.
Yeah, he's like a Donnie Yen kind of type. Man.
Really?
Yeah, he's so cool. Like I've asked him a lot of questions. Message him. We've met him for coffee.
Oh,
he's like my little mentor.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, just basically just try to be different. That's your whole thing that you can really do.
Right. But isn't it also like you can't be that much more different than how you look? Like, obviously how you look, you know, if you get down to it, it is kind of, you almost kind of do have to separate yourself from that part of the business where it's like, you're not the kind of look we want. It's like, oh, I can't change my look.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like I can't change the major facts about my look, like
sure.
whether or not I look a certain, or not. I'm not even just saying race, just like just how you look within your race. Even it's like, well, certain qualities I obviously can't change. It's like, what do you want me to do now?
No, for sure. And I think that's why like going to a multitude of different agencies is really important.
Okay.
There's not just one agency. But I mean, like maybe another agency is looking for, you know, like the Zach Galifianakis of the Asians.
Oh, okay.
Like if you are that look,
there's
other agencies that may be more appropriate for you, rather than like have a Donnie Yen kind of look, or a Henry Golding kind of look.
Well, I mean, true. Eventually, I would probably have to get an agent if it goes anywhere. So I guess they'll have to look for a, I don't know, semi.
Did you just look at your belly or look at your phone?
Oh, there was a buzz, but I didn't know how to put this. It's like, should I say I think of myself as semi-attractive? Like, no, well, I don't know.
Just say it.
I don't know. I think I'm okay.
Yeah,
I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. But yeah, no. Okay, so pretty much you managed to get into an agency, and then, but like in terms of getting into film school, because I think that's what you decided to do right after quitting that job, because I guess you weren't thinking about. Were you thinking about going to film school right away after the job, or was it like later on you did some soul searching and then you realized maybe film school?
So, okay. Aside from all this stuff, because it sounds like a really individual journey, my girlfriend needs to like get a round of applause for like putting up with my shit. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not young.
Right.
I'm 31. So,
well, you don't look a day over 30.
Josh, we've already gone through this in episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You look really young yourself, too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're biased.
Exactly.
But yeah, go on.
But the whole thing is that, yes, although this is a really individual journey, I would not be doing this without my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I don't think I would be partaking in this without her support and also at times like approval too.
Right.
Because, you know, as I always want to say, like, this is my life and how I want to live it. You know, my life affects her life too, vice versa. So yes, so going into school first was a bit of a easier pill to swallow in terms of like telling people what I was going to do. Not that I was lying or anything like that. You know, going to school was a big part, but I think for me to just say, hey, I'm going to drop everything and go into acting.
Yeah.
People will be like, what are you doing, man?
Right.
But at least like just say, hey, I'm going to school. People are just more understanding of that. So
Right.
again, I'm not lying. Like I am going into school. I'm not just like,
No, you're spinning.
Yeah.
You're spinning information. And in today's world, all right, Lucas, spinning information just makes you as bad as everybody else. So
No.
you're a liar. You're a liar, Lucas. You're lying to every. You know what? I wouldn't expect anything less from an actor.
wow.
I'm just saying. Your entire business is lying. Your
Entire
yeah,
business?
you're not an ancient Asian
An
servant.
ancient
Wasn't
Asian-
that your role? You were like
I-
you were like an extra, and then you were all dressed up in like
I can't. Oh, well, no. I was a retainer.
you were a retainer.
Yeah.
In a historical period. Yeah, you're
period
not.
piece.
You're lying because you're not a retainer. No, okay. Anyways, we'll move on to that.
Oh my God.
But okay,
what a tangent.
but yeah,
Okay.
I guess it makes sense in terms of like, school in a school format. There's a little bit more structure.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you took an acting class, and then that
Yeah.
kind of got you into it. And then, so then, what was the thing about the acting, the experience of doing acting that made you like, I think this is it. This is what I want to.
It's always been in my mind to go into acting. It's, really? Yeah. Like, I mean, even when I was working, I did go into one audition before.
Right. I think I remember you saying like you, you know what? Now I think I remember you saying like when you were working there, it's like, oh, I'm doing some auditions, have some headshots. And I remember a lot of the things we kept on, well, not just me, just within the Asian group as well. It's like, oh, look at Johnny Tran here. Guy. Because Lucas looks kind of a little like Johnny Tran from Fast and the Furious.
Dude, I wish I looked like Ricky Ewan, man. That dude is cut as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So your Ricky Ewan look. Your Ricky Ewan look.
Dude, get me in a tank top with a fast charge car. I'm in, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like no. Okay, so I go into acting class, man. It is terrifying.
Oh.
And it still is for me, man. Like And to be honest, like maybe this is like kind of my therapy right now with you, Josh.
Okay.
But like, I'm not sure, you know, like they always say, like when you're doing something that you love, you enjoy it and everything like that. You shouldn't be, you should be like having a love and a drive towards it.
Yeah.
Right. But when I go into acting class, man, I am freaked the shit out. Man.
Yeah.
And you know, like, of course, I think you can also attest to it too. It's like when you're up on stage, it is. Is it scary for you?
It's not okay. My thing is like when I'm on stage, once I get that first joke out, then I'm fine.
Okay.
Then I'm fine for the rest of it. And then I go through what I prepared, you know, go through the jokes and everything. I think the thing for me is just the anxiety and the anxiousness of the day during. Yeah, because I'm thinking about it during the day. I'm like running through the sets during the day on my way to the club. I get, you know, a little nervous, a little jittery right before I go on. Like, right now, I can't, you know, drink a beer or anything before. I want to make sure I'm sharp and focused. And then once but the second I get up there and then I get that joke out, I calm down a lot. Yeah. And I'm just more comfortable. Once I get to that point, then I'm comfortable.
Oh, okay. No, okay. You bring up that good point. It's the lead up to the moment.
Right.
That's what kind of kills me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. When I am in the class and I'm doing my thing and getting up there in front of the other students and all that stuff, we're all in the same boat. The other students are all in the same boat too. And even when I am on set, like everyone's nervous, everyone's jittery.
Yeah.
But just, I guess a lot of times, like, I psych myself out.
Right.
But what keeps me going on is like, man, this is such a cool, privileged thing to do, man. And it's like, you call it lying, I call it playing.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. All right. I don't want this to be a thing where like I get blacklisted because I think acting is lying. It's a joke. I'm a comedian.
Wow.
I'm not. But eventually I'll have to go into the profession of lying. Eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, just no matter what fear and anxiety I have going into it, like I know this is what I want to do.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I can do it fully. That'd be the dream one day, of course, but at least this is what I want to do. And it's a real privilege at that point when you realize what you want to do and when you get paid to do, when those two things align, man. And I've had that like twice during like last year.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I can make a decent amount of change with this thing so long as it comes consistent. So I'm pushing for that paycheck, man.
Man, yeah. I mean, like, that's the interesting thing about going into acting, because like I almost feel like you can't, for acting you can't really go half into it, because you like, or else you won't really get much traction. Like you have to also kind of keep your schedule open, so in order to take opportunities as they come, projects as they come, so like it makes sense that a lot of actors would have to do like coffee shop jobs or like grocery stores and stuff like that. But it's like, because there is a potential payday for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you get that role, you'll get a payday. Whereas in comedy, it's like the craft itself pays shit. There's no well, actually, in Canada, they started trying to create a comedians union.
Oh, wow.
Type of thing, where they can provide some health care and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, if you're in the actors union or whatever,
ACTRA,
at least ACTRA, then at least then there's some sort of structure for you, and like you can work within that. But like as a comedian, it's like you have to figure out a way yourself to be funny, and then you're usually going on to do spots or open mics where obviously you're not getting paid until the point where like even when you're getting paid to do maybe shows here and there, that pay is definitely not enough per show that you can live off of it. And it's like the shows are going to be so infrequent that you can't consistently make that money over and over again.
Oh, man.
So it takes a while for you to even get to a stage where you can consider yourself an actual comedian, be able to pay the bills doing comedy.
Exactly.
In Canada. I mean, it's probably... It's hard. I'm assuming it's harder, or I feel like I know it's harder in Canada than it is in the States, because in the States there's so many more things to do, more TV shows, more productions you can maybe work on, be a writer on,
right,
etc. But so then like in terms of the financial side of that, is like did you look at how you were going to go into it and be like, I think this could work?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this is where you and I differ. Remember when we were talking about like goals of the podcast?
Yeah.
You were like, I want to get this X amount of views, and I think 500 views. You said you were very metric based.
Yeah. Like
you had milestones and very tangible milestones. Whereas my whole thing was just like, I just want to do it.
Yeah.
And this is probably one of my biggest faults too in my life, is that I know when things don't feel right, and I feel it so hard that if I don't change, if I don't course correct, something terrible is going to happen to me.
Whoa.
And that's how I felt with with my former jobs at the VFX place.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in many different situations in my life.
Yeah.
I don't really need like a metric to tell me. I just feel it and I do it. And acting just felt right when I was doing it. And so if we're talking about finances, it's like, that's why I do have that goal.
Yeah.
That we said in episode 1, it's like the moment that I feel like I can buy my parents a place and buy my in-laws a place, or at least just take care of them. Right. Whatever that means, whatever final figure that means, I don't know. But at least I will know how I feel when I get to that point.
Yeah.
And so financials, they're tight. Don't get me wrong, man. Like me and my girlfriend, it's not all roses with it. Like sometimes we fight. And it's not about not having enough money. It's about me and my inner anxiety about not having enough. And I feel like I can't support her. I can't do this and that. And I feel like I'm giving away so much of my time working at a grocery store, like you mentioned before. You know? But if we were to say, am I happier?
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say I'm happier, but at least I have a drive that I want to do something good within this field.
Yeah.
Whereas before, of course, I wasn't happier, but I was going down a path that I did not like.
Right.
So,
you know, that by itself is kind of like, you know, I feel like maybe within the setting and like say Asian culture, right? A lot of that I think is like at that stage where you feel like you can't make that choice.
Yeah.
To acknowledge what doesn't feel right, and then make the decision to go to what feels right, even though like on the metric side, logically, however, it doesn't make sense. But the fact that you know that from how you view your life and how you live your life, you know that the path you're on, which may seem more stable, which may seem like the correct thing to do, is something that like you can't do.
Yeah.
And that you can't keep going and that you got to make a change.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, some people, you know, like they can stomach a lot of things,
Right.
man. Like props to them. Like sometimes they just need a wild trip to go to EDC and they'll cure all of their like inner repressed demons that they've wanted to let out since working their 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
You know, some people just need that. But like to me, man, maybe I over course correct. Maybe a bit too much sometimes, like quitting your job and then going to school and then working at a grocery market. Like that's kind of extreme. And I'm looking at that. That's in some ways it's kind of stupid. Like to other people, like not to me, because it all makes sense to me. But if I'm like explaining that to even probably some people within our social circle, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's a tough choice. I think it's just it's a tough choice for people who like are kind of so far away from the industry or the mindset behind it that it's just a foreign concept of being able to do that. It's just like a foreign idea of like being willing to be in a worse situation in order to pursue something that you are passionate about, or you feel like you that will give you more fulfillment than doing something else that is like more traditional, more standard, and you know may seem like a more socially acceptable choice. And I think that's the thing with a lot of artists that they have to go through. But I mean especially with like Asian or like, you know, and ethnically diverse cultures or and stuff is like as under an kind of like an immigrant mentality, first generation, second generation. You know, you're just trying to establish the family to a point where you can live well, have a stable life, raise a family on your own. But then the other kind of things that are more rocky, more passion driven, you know, it's hard to get out of that structure and make that leap. And which is why like I'm really happy to hear more about your perspective in that, because it's something I'm also thinking about. But I'm definitely in a different kind of path because of how, you know, there isn't a potential big break necessarily. For comedy in the beginning.
But I mean, granted, like what you're doing right now, working your 9-to-5, well, working what pays you well, and then and then going into your own creative endeavors is really commendable too. A lot of people that I take these classes with, acting classes with, a lot of people that I go to auditions with, they're like, "Oh man, I just ran outside the office. Oh, I gotta get back in time." I'm like, "Oh, you guys can balance the two. Like, good on you guys." So, I mean, like, no one has to make this full out leap.
No.
But if you feel like it's right for you, of course, do what's right, whatever you feel is right, and your partners are all up for it and everything like that. But, you know, if you can balance the two, like, props, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see.
But if you feel like the opportunity cost is greater, if you feel like you're missing out on a lot, then of course maybe you have to course correct a bit. But whichever you prioritize more is the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I think right now it's just, unless there is a tangible job that comes up related to comedy where it's like, oh, if there's, for some reason, there's opportunity through doing more shows, making some connections where it's like, oh, would you be interested in writing for a show, for a TV comedy show? At that point, I have to weigh, I would have to weigh, it's like, okay, now this is a bit more real. Now this is like, would I have to quit my job for this writing gig? Or like being able to work on a production. And I think it, honestly, I think it would have to take something like that for me to really make that,
for sure,
make that choice of whether to fully commit. Because I think now it's like, it's more volatile and more random, the breaks you get if you're just only doing comedy, that it's like, I think once an opportunity actually comes up, then I'll make the leap. But I think right now I'm okay with just building material and stuff like that. I guess for me, like, in terms of the ideas for going into comedy in general, I think it was always just a matter of, I think me realizing that being on stage is almost like the best version of me, where it's like, in that environment, I'm just comfortable, I'm confident, like, I know that what I can do, telling jokes, kind of commanding an audience, you know, making them laugh. I know that just feels like something that just works. You know, like, I think in other parts, because I got a business degree and I was like looking to do work and like sustainability, that was kind of one of my things that I wanted to get into. And like, I managed to work at a solar company for a year, less than a year.
Right.
And I think that avenue was what I wanted to do in terms of almost like a career, professional wise. But then the experience of me doing comedy on stage, for some reason, like I'm good at the, you know, the PM, the project management, or that kind of more professional work. Like, I'm definitely good at it. But for some reason, when I'm on the stage, it feels like this is something that just feels right. You know, it just feels like 100% right. And but which is why, like, I want to continue pursuing it. Like, I think I'm just more interested at this stage, like, doing the performances, working on the craft of the actual jokes, the writing, you know, establishing my ideas, my opinions on certain things, and then transforming them into jokes and communicating them in a way that challenges the audience and challenges the perspectives of people who listen to it. And I think I'm a lot more interested in that idea of the communication and the thought process and the arguments that you can make within jokes that just stimulates me intellectually.
Right.
And then it plays up to my ego. I'm going to be honest, because I think, to be honest, like, over the years, like, since coming to Toronto and, like, you know, I think having conversations with friends and stuff, because, like, you just talk about this type of things, like, a little bit, or especially with my roommate, just talking about, you know, our own perspectives of ourselves, our mentalities of what we do, you know, trying to get some insight in ourselves. I realized I like it when I'm perceived as being smart. So like, if I'm in a room, as like, I just like saying random facts, I will say multi-syllabic words to the point where, like, other people, some closer friends, are going to be like, ugh, Josh is trying to be smart again.
He's actually still pretty fun in parties, though. Like, he's not coming off as a prick, but he's pretty fun too.
Yeah. But like, this is something I realize is like, oh, I just want deep down, and I'm probably going to make a bit out of this, where it's like, deep down inside, I just want people to know I'm smart. Like, I don't necessarily care, like, if they like think I'm physically attractive. Just as long as they think I'm smart, that's all I want. That's all I want. It's like, oh no, that's very clever. It's like if I say something clever and somebody's like, oh, that's really smart, like, I'll think about it forever. Like, I won't do that. I won't I won't jerk off to the idea that I'm well, I might be close, but I think what it is like if I say something clever in my head, I'll be like, huh, remember that time I said something clever?
Yeah.
But I don't say that to like, other people. I just say it to myself. It's like, yeah, I was smart then. So that's what I realized more about, like where my ego is at.
Yeah.
And I realized my ego is trying to, just being smart. So I try to like put that into my comedy so that when people hear me, it's like, oh, that was smart, that was clever, that was a good pun, and it's like, yeah, it was. Yeah,
isn't it like such an ego-driven thing?
It is,
and that's what I'm trying to get out of at the same time too, because I'm not sure how it is with comedy, but with acting though, man, like you're gonna get roasted no matter what, because you're trying to be human in the most non-human context.
Yeah,
like, of course you guys can't see this, but in this setup though, kind of similar to a film set, just lights pounded on us right now.
Yeah.
We have mics in front of us, headphones, but we have to like, banter along. And it's comfortable because it's with you. But like when you're on a film set and they're like, okay, now pretend like you guys are friends. It's like, it's hard, man. So,
yeah,
just trying to kill that ego of trying to look like somebody and trying to be smart about it. Because at the end of the day, like, unless you are at like a really cool networking event that you have to like present yourself to be so smart and you're wearing like collared shirts. Yeah. No one's going to really look that smart. Everyone just wants to have a good time. And everyone remembers the fun guy, not the smart guy at a party.
Okay. So I'm not like overly trying to be smart. It's like, hey guys, I just learned this statistic the other day. What do you guys think? No, I'm more like, in conversation as things like, it's like, oh yeah, so did you know that Clasinets were from Portugal and it's a Iberian Peninsula type of cultural type of thing?
Oh shit!
It's like okay, it's just like if it comes up in conversation, I'll be like offering. It's like, oh yeah, all right, there's a fact about that.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm like artificially creating an environment in which people must recognize how intelligent I am.
Yeah.
But if they do, that'd be nice.
No, for sure.
But, like, I mean, you can attest as well. Obviously, I agree. That sometimes when I use multisyllabic words to, like, with closer friends, it's like, oh, Josh. Yeah, I hear them just groan a little bit. And it's because they've heard it more.
Right.
Whereas, like, in front of strangers, I think I give off a little bit of a better impression just because they don't know me.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, he used a word like that. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Probably that stranger at the party was like, that's weird. Jimmy O Yang just came up to me and said the biggest syllable word.
Wow. I'm already getting
sorry, man.
mistaken for another. Okay, all right, that's fine. But which is why it's like a running joke whenever I do that amongst closer friends who have heard it a lot. It's like I just kind of play it up. It's like what I'm not blah blah blah. But but like it took me some time to realize that that's somehow what I do, kind of do. Like unknowingly.
Yeah.
So now that I know that, I'm going to try to limit sounding like an asshole.
Okay. Well, I mean, we were just at a party.
Yeah.
On Saturday. One of the more fun parties we were at.
Right.
Well, I think for 2020, it's only been like 20 days in.
Yeah.
But man, like my girlfriend and I were only there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But man, it was a packed 2 hours of just nonstop entertainment, man. Ended off with literally a bang.
Right.
But anyways, sorry, just back to you about it. Did you use like a lot of syllabic words?
Multisyllabic. I don't know. Maybe I'm not even saying that word correct. See, that's even when I use multisyllabic, I'm trying to sound smart. You know how much of a douche I am? Anyways.
No, you're good.
Anyways.
There were just a lot of new faces at that party, so.
Yeah. Just to recognize that this week we are recording this, ahead of schedule. It probably won't be released in the right time frame. But, hey, you know what? It's leading up to Chinese New Year's. I felt it'd be a good idea to just, talk a little bit about that and wish our 12 viewers... Maybe 12. I think we could get 12. Hopefully we can get 12 by then. 12 viewers, Happy Lunar New Year. Happy Lunar New Year. 恭喜发财. I don't know.
Oh yeah, are you Mandarin or Canton?
I'm
Oh, and for our Cantonese listeners, 恭喜发财.
yes. 新年快乐.
龙马精神.
That's all I got.
Oh really?
No, I can speak more, but I don't want to embarrass myself. I think I pronounced it okay, but I don't want to embarrass myself. Yeah, but like, what do you do for Chinese New Year's, Lunar New Year's?
Yeah. Well, thank goodness I'm not married yet, so I still get the red envelope.
Wait, do you? Wait,
yeah.
Is that the cutoff?
Yeah. So apparently, so my younger sister, she's married, so she has to give me the red pocket.
Wow. Actually, I didn't know that. I've stopped getting them for a while.
Are you serious? Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Well, actually, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I've been like almost conditioned a little bit. I don't even know if it's conditioned. I think just my personality has now developed to a point where it's like, I don't know about accepting money from.
Really?
I just feel like.
Am I spoiled for still accepting money?
No. I mean, like, I wish I could. I could just like accept. But then again, I think within my family, we also don't give that much. Like, it's not a thing where we're like, a lot of extended family will send mail and stuff.
Oh.
So it's not like, I don't think it was that as prevalent. I think maybe just every year it was like one envelope of like money and just as a representation of the tradition.
Right. No,
yeah,
which is good. I mean, so yeah, I mean, all that money will be used for something else, and then probably just like a family dinner. But I will be in town for like Chinese New Year celebrations this year.
Right. Yeah, you might be. I don't know the details because from what I remember, there's always like certain days mean certain things after the New Year.
Yeah.
I never fully understood that.
What are you guys up to?
But for me, it's usually like also having a family dinner.
Yeah.
And then when I was younger, it was a lot of calling relatives.
Right. I should do
wishing
that
them
too.
a happy New Year, or like watching the Communist People's Republic of China put on the annual
fireworks show.
No, it's like the talent. I don't know what it is. Is it a talent show or like some kind of variety show? It's a variety show. I remember watching that every year, and then I think we all just kind of stopped. But yeah, I don't want to. I know as I'm saying that is like I'm probably the outsider in that kind of role because I think most Asian families will still do it quite a bit. For me, as like, I think we kind of just stopped.
Interesting.
I think we kind of stopped.
Do you have a lot of family? Like, is your whole extended family in Vancouver?
No. So I guess that's also another reason.
Oh, okay.
But even so, it's like I kind of don't particularly care much. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, it's nice. It's nice getting money.
Yeah.
It's nice.
I think we've been so westernized that like Christmas, I think, is a bigger deal than us than Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Which is Lunar New Year. Yes.
Well, to be I guess PC about it, but I mean, it is more accepting. Other countries, other cultures do Lunar New Year.
The Vietnamese do.
Exactly. It's not. I mean, the Japanese, Korean, everybody they celebrate Lunar New Year's. It's not just people in China.
Yeah.
However, I think because we are both Chinese, we can just say it as Chinese New Year's.
Chinese New Year to us.
To us.
Hell yeah.
To us. But yeah.
So to all the Chinese and people who celebrate the Lunar New Year,
happy Lunar New Year.
We wish you a great one.
Yeah.
Peace and happiness to all.
Yes. Okay, I guess we should just end there.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, man. All right. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.